Hello, English language learners. How are you today? We're live again. It's been a while, but we're back live. Hopefully, you can hear us okay. If you wanna join the chat, if you wanna join the conversation, I guess as such, you can. Well, I might put a link in. I'll put a link in shortly if people come in. Otherwise, I'm just going to chat to myself and see how it goes. But anyway, we're here to practice English, talking about English, whatever is interesting. If you have a topic that you want to talk about and you're here, well, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about my topics. You can see scrolling down at the bottom, there's like an email address. If you ever want to come on and have a chat, we can see if we can arrange that. Basically, so what's there to talk about? I don't know what part of the world you're in, but I don't know. There seems to be, well, I guess there's always sports and stuff going on, but there seems to be even more so with the American sports. I'm not from America, but certainly with the American sports, there seems to be a lot of stuff that's been talked about and going on recently. But I don't know. Let's see if we can find some. I mean, if we look, we're gonna go to. We might go to. Let's have a look. This is the CNN web page. We're going to see if we can maybe find something that's not. We don't want to be too serious. I guess there's lots of terrible and bad stuff happening in the world, but we don't want to. We don't want to have too much bad stuff. We have a break from it. Let's say. But this is, this is what I'm talking about. And so there's a lot of stuff about the Super Bowl and that sort of stuff. But this is intriguing me. So it's a 100-year-old diver performs dive at the 2024 World Championships. This could be a feel-good story, perhaps a feel-good story. Now, I guess one thing to do now, this is looking at the CNN website. One thing that you could do when you want to practice learning English as well is, say, for example, we have this headline. You can obviously just search in Google or whatever search engine. You could search that headline and just see how it comes up on other for other news sources and other pages or blog posts, that sort of thing. You could always have a look there and see how other places are reporting it. You can compare the vocabulary that they're using on the different websites and that sort of thing. Or in this case, we're just going to look at this particular site and see what they're saying. I guess the question you could ask yourself is, what do you do with this stuff? I guess the most common thing, this is actually going to be a quick read. It says here 2-minute read, so this should be very quick to read. But I guess the things that you can do even before, and this is maybe if you have English classes, you probably do this already anyway. So maybe when you see a headline or a picture or a story, maybe your teacher in the class will get you to predict and ask about things. Maybe if you see the picture or the headline, what you think the story is about, what could be some of the details, and indeed this could be something you can do for yourself as a way to practice, and you can check if you think your predictions are correct, and you can practice the language for predictions. And so something like this, I think they will be talking about this guy who dived for the first time at the championships, or maybe they'll talk about a guy who was a world champion diver from 50 years ago or 80 years ago, I'm not sure, from a long time ago, and now he's made a a reappearance to celebrate his birthday or something like that. Now, where are these World Championships? I don't know, somewhere. Well, obviously somewhere, but I don't know where. But and I guess the other thing you could do is, as you go through different points, is as you're reading, think, okay, how can I prepare some questions? So, for example, even if we just look at this headline, we can think of some questions. So I guess the numbers are, I guess, are the easiest ones to look at. So it's 100-year-old diver. So I guess the obvious question is, how old is the diver in the story? How old is the person in the story? Is the where if we look at the answer here, so at the 2024 World Championship, where did the diver dive? Now there are answers that we know. We've got to say, what did the person do at the World Championships? And in this case, it could be dive. He, I guess, as we see the picture, we know it's he, but he dives. I guess the question, what I would want to know is this person, is this a competitive dive? Is this just sort of like an exhibition sort of stunt, like a feel-good sort of thing? This person is diving. He could have some history, or he might know someone, or who knows. But is he just diving just for the show, or does he actually? Maybe there's an event. I'm not sure, because I know sometimes with swimming events and other sports, they have obviously different age categories. So maybe there's an age category for, I don't know, 60 and over or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. But let's look, shall we? This is pretty fresh news. So this is on Monday, the 12th of February. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so we can see here it's in Doha. It's got written there. So I'm not sure about the name pronunciation. So if I get this wrong, actually I'm going to make that bigger. I'm not sure about the name pronunciation. So if I get this wrong, please forgive me on that one. So I think it's Tagi Askari prepares to dive at the World Aquatics Masters Championship. There's a lot of S's there. I wonder why it's World. It is because it's World Aquatics. Maybe that is just the name, like World Aquatics Masters Championships. That's a lot of S's in Doha, Qatar. But it's interesting. How do you pronounce this country in your language? Because I've heard a bunch of different pronunciations, shall we say, for this. What's the one I hear from America sometimes? I hear Qatar, I think it was. Qatar. Sometimes I hear people say Qatar. That sounds like someone like cutting something, but curious. But I'm not sure if there's actually I guess there is an official way of pronouncing it, but I do remember seeing once this video where the person said it was a Qatari person, because I'm assuming it's Qatar, but the person from that country said they don't really care what the pronunciation is, just as long as you're being nice and you mean things in a good way, and that sort of thing. And that's I think that sounds fair enough. It's a good spirit. Anyway, let's look into this story, shall we? All right. So standing on the edge of a platform with the water rippling below. Now this is almost sounding like it's going to be a descriptive sort of thing. So it's obviously going to be like a feel-good piece. Hello, none. It's an interesting name, none. But what is the average age of the? Now, this is a good question. This is a very good question. What is the average age of the contestants? So this is why I'm wondering if he's actually in the competition or if it's just a stunt. But it's a very good question. So standing on the edge of a platform with the water rippling below, nice vocabulary there, rippling below. So you see like the lines, I guess, of the water. And of course, as we're going through, this is my tongue is really tied today for some reason, twisted. When you're going through and you see different vocabulary, it's important to make the decision: do I need to learn this vocabulary? So it's a nice word, a very advanced word. It can be very descriptive to use. If you can use the word rippling when you're talking about different things, particularly water, but it could be other things. But the frequency is quite low. So when you're looking at words or you're reviewing an article or podcast or whatever it is that you're watching or listening to, I guess one thing to try and think about, if you look in the dictionary, and I think like with Google as well, you can search how common the word is, and that sort of stuff. You see like a little chart, like the frequency of usage and stuff. But just see like how important is this word for me to learn, and if it's of very low importance, maybe it's the first time you've heard the word, maybe you see it once in this article. You've never seen it before, and maybe you keep reading different articles and you don't see it again for the next 5 years. It's probably a good sign that you don't really need to learn that particular word. But I guess the point is just to prioritize as you go through. If you see a word or a word family coming up quite often, obviously that could be a sign that maybe it's more important to learn that. Anyway, let's get back. 100-year-old Tagi Askari, again I think is the pronunciation, perhaps, prepared to dive like he had done so many times before. Okay, so some lovely grammar in here. If you're into the grammar sort of breakdowns, so that's a bit of past perfect there. He had done so before this dive. Fantastic. And again, so if you're trying then to prepare questions afterwards that you have read, or based on what's in there, you can say, okay, so maybe I want to practice preparing some past perfect questions because I see that construction. So you can do that based on the story. But then I think it's always good to try and ask yourself, or if you're doing the practice with other people, ask other people questions and then trying to use that in the conversation. So don't just try and use it once, multiple times, but within the context. The Iranian won a silver and bronze medal at the first ever Asian Games in 1951. And Askari has never lost his passion for the sport. Fantastic. All right, very good. I'm gonna drop this comment so we can go down. Okay. Fast forward to 2024, and that is quite a fast forward. Fast forward to 2024 and his exhibition dive. There we go. There's our answer. Our exhibition dive at the 2024 World Championships in Doha on Friday. So on Friday marked 2 weeks until the World Aquatics Masters Championship. Okay, there we go. All right. So it's the World Championships now, but so it's Masters Championships. So maybe it's people who did diving before and they're competing as they get older, or it's just for people who are older and into diving, or a combination of the both. So until the World Aquatics Masters Championships, where he will be the oldest competitor. Fantastic. That's great. And it's very, very healthy. I wonder like how what the level of difficulty that the dives would be at the Masters, because obviously they don't want to, you know, you can't have things go wrong. Well, I guess you can, but you don't want to try and have things that are too that can cause problems, shall we say? I guess I'm trying to say it in a very polite way, but you don't want to be getting injured. But I guess you also want to do something that's very not too simple. You don't want to just dive off and then just a simple dive. So maybe they just do. I'm not sure what's more easy or difficult for these sorts of things. But anyway, something to think about as I ramble on. Here we got a quote for me. I have had a love of diving since I was a teenager until today. Fantastic. I've always loved diving. Nothing has changed between 1951 and now, really, except my performance. That's interesting. That would be. I just have so many questions that come to mind. I wonder if the maneuvers and the twists and turns and stuff, I wonder if they were already invented back in 1951, or if there are any newer things, tricks. Maybe not tricks is not the right word, but moves, or I'm not sure what is the name. There must be a word that they use. But yes, so the things that they do in their performances. That's interesting. Nothing has changed. Again, nice bit of vocabulary. We've actually got if you're into the grammar, we've got quite a bit of a mixture of vocabulary here and structure here. So this is good if you want to practice a few different things. Askari first encountered diving at a swimming pool near his childhood home in Iran, where other children were somersaulting into the pool. Yeah, I wonder if they had the, you can't sort of jump into the pool. As I say, no bombing, no jumping. Okay, this looks like a, okay, I wonder in the first picture, see, I suppose it's hard to tell, isn't it? Because with this first picture, we can't see the water. So I was thinking this is like up really high. But then when we've zoomed out a bit and we've got I guess this is maybe, how high is that? Is that 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters? What do you reckon? Not the biggest distance. And again, I don't know about diving technique. But I think it's interesting. And again, for vocabulary, this is a good thing you can think about is, even if the only thing you have is a photo or an image, or you're just in a location and you see what you can see, or if you're watching a movie, if nothing else, and you want to practice, you can practice describing what you see. And here I always thought, and again, I'm not a professional, I've got no idea. I always thought you needed I'm not sure I thought you always need to have like your hand sort of like flat and stuff, or with the fingers outstretched. But he's got a clenched fist as he's going into water. Now, I don't know if that's a precaution because of age and all that, or if that's the actual technique for that particular dive, or it may just be that's a practice dive and that's the way he's doing it in that particular dive. But there indeed we can see the rippling water, and this seems to be, I guess, he's just touching the water in there, but it was even rippling before he touched the water. So yes, there we go. So there's the ripples. Okay, we have more. So this 2-minute read is taking a little bit longer than 2 minutes with me bantering on a bit. Okay. It ignited a lifelong love of diving for him. And he went on to win medals at the Asian Games and national titles. I can imagine certainly the national titles if he's going to the Asian Games. When I was, we really do have a lot of structures here. This is fantastic. When I was competing at a national level, the last championships I did was when I was 41 years old. Fantastic. I don't know when people retire. I know there's a diver from Australia who's in Doha. I haven't actually been following, so I don't know the results. But she would be, I don't know how old she is. Maybe she'd be late 30s, I guess now. I think she's been to, I think it's at least 4, maybe 5 Olympics. I think her first Olympics was like she was like 12 years old or 13 or something like that. I guess with the maths, you could sort of work out how many Olympics. But so maybe even more than, maybe 5 is right. But she's been to a lot of Olympics and a lot of with the Commonwealth countries, like the Commonwealth Games and all that sort of stuff. So I wonder when most people retire. I wonder if they actually retire or if they don't get selected anymore. Anyway, so he said, I achieved a gold medal at the national level, and after that, I said goodbye to the sport. But at least with a gold medal. Fantastic. Well done. Well done to you. Fantastic. In the first time since Askari began diving, the sport has changed. In the time, what did I say in the first time? No. In the time since Askari began diving, the sport has changed hugely. I'm a bit confused now. Didn't he just say, hold on, what did he say here? He said, nothing has changed. Okay, maybe he's just talking about himself. Okay, so he's talking here in the context of his love of diving. Okay, that's what he means by nothing has changed about his love of diving. So that, I guess that's important there for the for the understanding, is to read the full thing with the context. And nothing has changed about his love of diving. He continues to love that despite the years, or with the years, not even despite, with the years. But the sport has changed hugely. Okay, this makes more sense to me. I was surprised. That's, perhaps you heard it in my voice. I was shocked when he was saying there were no changes, but obviously yes. So obviously I needed to read that correctly. That's why it's good to go back and double check sometimes, because we misunderstand some things when we read the sentences in isolation. Maybe I should just read this all the way through, because I'm distracting myself perhaps. By the time the games were in Tehran in 1974, the Chinese swimmers had entered this beautiful sport and they started to improve by a lot. We just couldn't catch them, and as we stayed at the same level we started at. So he's saying they didn't improve, or that's interesting. But I can imagine, because I guess if you ever watch diving, I guess the thing that's very obvious is the Chinese divers are just unbelievably what's the word? Accurate, disciplined. It's sort of so. I mean, I can imagine how much they practice. I imagine. I mean, I guess all of the divers are practicing like thousands of times, but this is, a lot. So yes. But they just always seem to be on point. They always seem to be in the medals. I can't remember any time that I've seen, not that I watch all of the diving competitions, but I can't remember a time where I've seen a medals table in diving where I haven't seen Chinese divers win, or like you just look at in one event, like gold, silver, bronze, unless of course it's like a national event or something where you don't have Chinese competitors. Let me just cough for a second. Excuse me, just to clear my throat. Okie dokie. And it said the Iranian will be among the competitors at the World Aquatics Masters Championships, a competition held shortly after the Elite World Championships, open to participants aged over 25. So the Masters is over 25. So the age range at this year's Masters Championships will be from 25 to 100. That's incredible. That is incredible. Wow, I'm amazed by that. I am truly amazed by that. That's fantastic. I don't know. I think that is the end of the story. So, okay. So what we can do, I guess, with this then is you can think, okay, how can I summarize that story? What questions can I write about that story? Maybe you just have conversation about the story with someone around you or into your mobile phone, your recorder, that sort of thing. I guess I've been giving my thoughts and commentary on the story. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or comments about these sorts of things or this particular competition. Now, None, so that's a great name. They didn't really tell us, did they, about what the average age of the contestants is? We don't know. I suppose if we really wanted to search it, I guess we could go on to the Masters Diving Championships website and see who the competitors are, and then do a bit of a mathematical calculation. But that's a bit of effort for I guess it's a bit of curiosity that we have, but that's not really changing. It might be something where you're sitting around with your mates and you're going, "Oh, I wonder what the average age of those people compare. I wonder what that average age is." And I guess it's something that might happen like that, but you don't know when you just throw up some numbers. But I guess if the minimum is 25 and the oldest is 100, you probably got people. I'm going to guess, probably something like around 50, I guess, because I reckon maybe that's too high, but I reckon you probably have a few people who are older and just doing and again, because there may be different age brackets within that as well, and people just doing simpler dives and others doing more complex dives. So maybe with different categories, that could open it up to having more people, older people, participating in that. Well, there we have it. So I don't know. That's the diving news for yesterday, maybe. Since most of the world, I think it's the 13th at the moment, at the time of recording. So that's one of the diving. Maybe there's lots of other diving stories, but yes, fantastic, very good. What's this guy doing? What is it? This doing the camera? Wow, look at that. That's okay. So obviously he's got like a tripod or something there to hold the camera. But where does that? I wonder where that goes. That must be. I guess is that the shot to look up, I guess, or maybe that's the one like when they're going. Well, actually, when they're diving, maybe that's the shot that follows them down as they come down. For some reason I thought that was like an automatic camera, but maybe obviously years ago that might be more of just a modern technology to have that. But obviously there's a guy there that's doing that, if that is in fact the case. It could be he's there just for sound, because he does have he's got one headphone on, or at least to the ear. It doesn't seem to much. He's got like a couple of, I guess there's sort of like display units in there. What is displaying though? I don't know. But yes. But again, it could be the value of chatting about a picture, Oh, okay. Well, there's a guy with a camera there. So he's got the camera. So this is the camera of the guy, maybe like when the people are going up the steps and stuff and onto the platform, he's doing that, or when they come out of the pool, that's this guy. Maybe this guy is for um, the the diving shot, I guess. Maybe the flexible one, and you got another guy or another person at distance who's from a bigger angle, something like that, perhaps. But I don't really know. I'm making all of that up. So anyway, I think that's me for now. If you've got any questions, let me know any questions now. If I don't see them straight away, I can answer them later. But it's good to have none in here for a little bit. It's good to have you viewing. I hope you're able to use something like this. Again, this is just an example. Maybe you're not interested in diving at all. You have zero interest in diving. But the point is, I guess, of how to approach using, in this case, a text. And we've seen that there's different times within the text, different structures that have used, different vocabulary used as well. And so you can think about how you can use that from as simple as just looking at the headline or a couple of numbers or the photos, or you can, dive deeper, pun intended, you can dive deeper into the story, just getting details or the facts from the story, or talking about things related to sport, agent sport, participation, and then sort of talking about health and wellness, and obviously the conversation can expand incredibly. So there's lots and lots of things you can do, but obviously if you find something or a topic that's relevant for you, obviously that's more motivating. But the point is that you practice. Don't just sit there, watch a video, and then do nothing. If you do that, in terms of learning English, it's going to be very limited progress. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but it's a start. But you got to be producing. You have to be speaking and or writing to become really, really. I guess the word is consolidate. So if you're getting new words or new vocabulary, or you want to really learn those structures, learn the what you're writing to check if it's correct, to feel if you're becoming more fluent, if you can remember the words at a faster rate and say them with confidence. That's something you have to do, actually producing. And I guess that's talking more about speaking than writing, because I guess generally with writing you can take more time, but it really is key. I guess you can people watch lots of videos, and I hear and see lots of students talking about, oh, I watched a video about this, video about that, but the question is always, what did you do with it? But yeah, so that's I'll leave it up to you there. I'm going to go. Have a great rest of the day, night, whatever the time is, wherever you are. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're practicing English, learning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of stuff. Particularly comment, because that, of course, that's a way of practicing your English. Have a great day. Until next time, take it easy.